What up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Live number 144. What's going on, Skeet? Nice to see you today. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day / evening / morning / whatever time it is for you. Oh, feeling like I'm in a chill vibe today. Looking forward to just sitting and writing a little bit. Don't know exactly what I'm gonna be writing today. Just gonna kinda go. We're just gonna start and see what happens. Hello, Jaswini. How's it going? Whoop. What's going on, Sadvik? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Maybe I'll do a little of this. Just a little bit. Right on. Might have to rotate my camera in a bit here. Or I'll just write downhill for the day. I should probably rotate my camera in a bit. It has been a while. What are we working on today? That is a very good question. No theme or no real objective today aside from I just felt like writing. I just want to write. So today is just a standard writing session. I am gonna take a second and read. I'm gonna tweak my camera a little bit because it's got me writing. This is where I want to write, and for some reason my camera is not where it normally is. Or it is, but actually, you know what happened? This is what happened. I forget that my camera is no longer attached to my writing desk. And my writing desk, I do tend to move it. So that is exactly what has happened here. My apologies. Let me get this going. Oh, it's still gonna be... Get it out from behind my face. There we go, so I'm more in the middle. Still a little off angle, which I might tweak in a sec. Can't believe I forgot that they used to be connected, so wherever my desk went, the camera was always the same. But now they are separate. Hello, Alexandru. Yes, I remember. The rhodia paper you gave me, the slightly thicker stuff. I did use it, not a ton. I don't have a ton of it. I did play with it though. Nice to see you. Whoa. Stream elements bot running. Does that normally show? I feel like we don't normally see that. Curious. I guess question for the chat. What do you guys want to work on today? What do you guys feel like getting up to today? I'm feeling objective less. I'm just wanting to write. There's no clear objective of what I want to write. But if you have something you would like, let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna tweak my camera. So the angle is a little bit closer to what we're looking at there. I apologize in advance for the camera's gonna get a little shaky and crazy here for a sec. But I want to be not riding downhill where you guys don't have to look at me riding downhill all day. Alright. Oof, this is tight. Tweak, tweak, tweak. That should do the trick, I think. That sounds funny. Tighten that up nice and tight. That should be good. Wonderful. Back in business. That was easy. The wonders of a modular desk setup. It's handy. Oh, sorry, that was out of frame. Yeah, this is the same nib I used last week. And the hairlines are crazy thin. I could make the camera a little bit darker, or I guess I could zoom in more if you would like. You let me know. I did the let's see. I think this is where the camera was. What's better? Bright or slightly dimmer? I know the paper looks kind of faded at the dimmer. You let me know. My favorite practice word. You got it. Well, there's two that I always tend to do. Usually, the go-to practice word is curious. It's basically one of my favorite words in the world. It has nothing to do with it being a favorite because it covers a good range of all the principles or something like that. It's just I like curiosity, and I end up writing curious. What you can see up here, it's usually one of my go-tos. Another go-to is oh, wait, I had a word in mind and it just disappeared. It starts with an F. What is it? Now I'm overthinking, and I can't think of anything. Freedom. There it is. Freedom is one that I write all the time. I know it doesn't sound like it now that I fully blanked on it. Freedom. Yeah, freedom and curious. Those are probably the two words that I write more than any. You could pick like any of my old, if we just grab like an old practice page, and there's a pretty good chance that it has the word curious on it. Obviously this wasn't the start of a practice, this is from last week's session, but yeah, usually curious is one of the words that comes out the most. Well, thank you very much, Alex. Hopefully that's possible one day. I am very, very, very interested in the idea of one-on-one sort of mentoring, training, teaching. I'm currently trying to refine the way of getting that to people. But I think my sort of next step as a teacher in the world of ornamental penmanship will be in the realm of one-on-one mentoring, tutoring, teaching. That would be my goal if I had to pick a goal. So I just have a few too many things on my plate at the moment. I could take on private students, but I personally feel like right now in my life, I wouldn't be able to dedicate the amount of time and attention. Hello, Lori. Lurker Lori in the house. I wouldn't be able to dedicate the specific time and attention that I would want to those students. But my plate should be clearing at some point here a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out a way to accommodate that one day. Question for Skeet, since you asked for my favorite practice word. What's your favorite practice word? Actually, everybody in the chat, what are your favorite practice words? Out of curiosity. Oh yeah, these hairlines are fine today. We're gonna zoom in a little bit more just because. This is a scenario where I sharpened this nib potentially ever so slightly too much, but in writing with it, if I can keep a light enough hand, it's been a while since I feel like I've really been dedicating time to training having a light hand, or like lightening my hand, and it might have got a little bit lazy. So this has been really good for me. And the hairlines are just magical thin. Which, I mean, how can you not love a magical thin hairline? Oh, hey. Sorry to hear you have to go, but no worries. Thank you very much. You haven't found your favorite word? You must have favorites. Words you really like to write? I write the word writing a lot as well. That's one of the things that I've been working on lately, getting that little slight accent shade in this variation of the Descender strokes. Rather Madaraz-esque, but the shade, the super thin hairline, and then a slight shade right on that curve, but just slight. Do you write the word copperplate in Spencerian? I wouldn't say your name is boring, Lori. I write Ward a lot, I think. I don't write Mike very often, but I write Ward quite a bit. Probably because I don't like capital M's, and I really like capital W's. Ooh, inspire is a very good word. I've been getting, this is a new thing for some reason. Closing my capital stem shade has had a weird shape lately. I don't know why. I feel like in training something else, some kind of hitch in my movement has appeared. Yeah, it's not a nice baseline shade, unfortunately. I gotta fix it. Beautiful is a good one. I write beautiful quite a lot because I love the capital B. Letter chains, like specific ones, or do you just like go through the alphabet? Or just letters that come to mind as you're writing? Non-words. That does sound like Ojaswini's favorite word. Non-Bunkunden. I see. Cross drills are fun. I actually can't remember the last time I did a cross drill exercise. My favorite practice words are often, I mean, well, we know my favorites, curious and freedom. But the words that I practice are often dictated by the audiobook that I happen to be listening to at the time, which is currently The Silmarillion, which is slightly problematic because I don't know how to spell, I feel like, half the words in The Silmarillion. So it's a whole lot of phonetics going on. Ooh, another one that I write all the time. Just thought of it because I was just about to write it as I was just chilling. Wonderful. With wonderfully fine hairlines today. This is a very large lowercase day. That shade, we gotta fix that. It's coming out of the shade. Just isn't smooth. And why is that? Test something real quick. No, it's there as well. Okay. More speed would be our usual answer then. There we go. Nope. Hello, Annie. How you doing? Nice to see you. There's no reason for this shade, there we go, to not be smooth. Nope. Ooh, Carmel, serendipity is a good one, and thank you is all very useful. Thank you for letting us know those. Serendipity is a good one. Does anybody else think of the little pink dinosaur when they hear the word serendipity? Or in my brain, the name serendipity? Yeah! That little pink dinosaur. That's a movie. Is that the movie you're saying you think of? I think I've only ever thought of, or I don't think I've ever thought of the word serendipity without that little pink. You guys don't know wait. Google. Yeah, it's serendipity. The pink dinosaur. I have to Google to make sure I'm not crazy. Oh, it's a dragon. Sorry, not a dinosaur. That's serendipity. The pink dragon. So cute. It's called Serendipity, the pink dragon. Tee. Yeah, anytime I hear the word serendipity, this is what pops in my head. Serendipity, the movie? Ah. Romance. I think I saw that once upon a time. Yep. Romance. So nobody else thinks of the... Alright, so everybody's thinking all romantic, and I'm just thinking of a cartoon dragon. I'm a child. What's going on with that shade? Yep. Oh, no ad for Annie. Yeah, 30 minutes. I said it to an ad every 30 minutes. That's what it's at now. I might change it at some point, but it wasn't working last week when I had to decide when to put it and I didn't know how long they were gonna be, and I don't want to think about it. So it just happens every 30 minutes now. Ah, Carmel's name is Shelly. Noted. Shelly, I will apologize in advance for in the future when you chat again and I forget that you told me your name was Shelly. I'm very bad at remembering people's real names. What nib am I using? I'm using a very, very sharpened Hunt 101. my current nib of foie of choice. Well, hello, Mom. Good evening to you. Oops. Got that. E and D a little close together. Oh, and my niece is here as well. Hello, Kiara. That's fun. 2 family members in the chat tonight. Fun, fun, fun. Ooh, city names are good for practice. My niece is here. I have to stop saying bad words and being so vulgar and rude and whatnot. Would I ever need censorship? Not on a stream, probably not. And not in public either, usually. Depending on who I'm with. It's possible. I use pretty rough language. I'm pretty, it's pretty rough. You gotta earmuffs around the little ones, you know. I'm pretty good at filtering. Ah, this is true. Good memory, Ojaswini. There, Kiara, that's for you. People in the chat know that when I moved home back to Canada from LA, that it was you and your sister. It was Kiara in London that gave me a hard time for saying Z instead of Z. So I had to go back to Z for my nieces. Good memory, Ojaswini. Well done. Well done. Forgot that I told that story. I say Z now, I don't say Z anymore. The one thing that I will say is weird, that still feels weird, but I don't use either, is pop. Referring to like Coke, Pepsi, and root beer and everything as pop. It feels strange to say soda. I don't say soda. But it also feels weird to say pop. So I just refer to it by Coke, Pepsi, root beer, or who knows what. Oh, Annie, you don't like pop? That's very much a Canadian thing that I got completely out of the habit of doing or of saying when I lived in California. And now that I'm back, I don't know, it feels weird to say pop. It doesn't feel right. Well, you don't have to like drinking it. I don't drink pop really either. Lemonade is good. My problem with lemonade is if I drink lemonade, I just have to pee all the time. Sorry, overshare. Uh-oh. What? Excuse me. I love the taste of lemonade. I went through a phase where I drank a ton of lemonade, but it goes through me pretty quick. Yes, Laura, you would be you're a pop sayer. I mean, how can you not like lemonade? Lemonade is delicious. I just have to be careful. You say soda. So American, Annie. So American of you. There we go. They got you. Like, is it this nib? Is it just digging in? Something's happening in that same spot every time I do that shade. Lurker James. He's been hiding. I don't know where he's been. Busy doing stuff. It's a Jamesless evening. Use J for proof of life. Wait, what? Ooh, that's probably another, actually, going back to the topic of favorite things to write, or favorite practice things. This J comes out a lot. It's definitely a favorite. Or we could probably just say that entry stroke. The double horizontal oval into a stem or a J or something. And capital F's. Well, it's not the easiest nib. It's not necessarily giving me a hard time, it's just making me work. It's keeping me on my toes. Because it's very, very sharp. If it keeps giving... I mean, I like it. If it keeps giving me a hard time, I could always prep another one on stream, I guess. I don't know that I have... I don't know which are good ones and which are bad ones. all my nibs kind of got grouped together. This one's good. It's just very, very fine. Ah, got you. A wellness check. I actually did that with a friend of mine's partner the other day. I said he has a tendency to get in his own world and disappear from responding to messages and whatnot. So I messaged his partner and basically said, hey, I don't need him to respond to me. I just am checking if things are okay. If things are okay, sweet, ignore this message. Just checking in, because it's been longer than usual. EOD. What's EOD? Y'all are speaking in code tonight. That won't make very much of a difference, but... Oh, end of day. By end of day. Understood. I should have picked up on that. EOD. How do I get... Can the O go in the middle? Going from the E... Oh, I guess for the E, I could do E to the O. Something like that, I suppose. Or maybe it works like a monogram and it doesn't all follow the baseline. And they all just sit inside of each other. Ooh, how can I do that? Let's see. Let's experiment. We gotta go downhill just a little bit. If you did that right, get EOD to just look like one of these exercises. Traveling a lot farther to the left than I want to. My capital E's today. That's a little better. Tiny little E. been really wanting to write small lately. Makes things so hard. But it looks so good when it comes out right. Move my camera again. Sorry, bear with me for a moment. I guess it was up here and slowly moved? I'm not sure. It shouldn't move, but it might have. It's possible. C'est possible. Ooh, so I did my Duolingo already today, but Japanese training has started legitimately feeling like I know what I'm doing. I know that feels really weird, because obviously, I mean, I've been practicing it for a long enough time, but for I feel like almost the first time ever, when it says things, the comprehension has gone beyond, it feels like Duolingo learning, and more like I've hit like a milestone or a checkpoint in recognition. Maybe. That's what it feels like. And I finally got to the point in the course where the knowledge is now building on what I knew. You started music? What does that mean? You can, like... I didn't know you could do music on Duolingo. Explain yourself. What do you mean? Whoa, caught my glide sheet. Oh, interesting. That's kind of neat. Can you learn piano on Duolingo? I just took... Well, they're over there. Oh, no, you won't be able to see them. My microphone's in the way. If I turn the camera even. I moved a bunch of binders that were under my piano today onto my shelf here because I built a new storage unit. So where my printer was, my printer is now hiding under my bed, which is great because it still works and it doesn't have to be on my nice pretty wall. But I moved a bunch of binders, lessons and things like that from conventions over here. So my piano is now more usable than it's been in a long time. Earlier today, I cleaned the keys and got it all plugged in and sounding good. So now I need to find essentially a lesson plan so I can do want to do. Just a daily, like, chord progressions and fingering exercises and stuff like that. Every day. Like I used to during COVID, I guess, or when I bought the piano. They do piano lessons? That's crazy. I didn't realize you could learn so many things on Duolingo. I was just stuck to Japanese. Wonderful. It's another word I write quite often. Wait, what am I trying to do here? A fun cue. What's that variation of the cue? Uh-oh. Why can't I remember? Is that it? I feel like that part's wrong. Maybe it doesn't go down quite so far. No, that's not right. There's a cool variation of the cue, and I can't think of it right now. Oh well. Moving on. Does anybody use memory exercises or things like that, like the Mind Palace type stuff? Does anybody actually in here utilize things like that out of curiosity? Wait. I basically researched it, learned about it, but never actually put it into practice all the way, unfortunately. So I'm curious if people have ever had success with it. Alright, let's smooth out this S, shall we? Actually, we'll do Lessons in Ornamental Penmanship, my favorite book. I don't really need to reference this for this exercise, but I'm going to do it anyway. Basically working on that one. There's another one that continues too in here, isn't there? That's a good point. Kind of want to do that one. That little exercise. But start with just a compound stem, because mine is looking not pretty. What I think is happening... Oh, there's an ad. If people see ads, they are currently seeing an ad. If people don't see ads, they are currently listening to me talk about other people seeing ads. That's better. Yeah, I think what's happening with this nib specifically, because it's a custom ground nib, I think when the tines are closed, it is smooth. But when the tines open, I think there might be like an inside edge that is sharp. And that's what's catching when the tines are closing, potentially. That could also be me just making up excuses. Very possible. But I feel like that's what it feels like. But rather than blame the nib, I feel like with more follow through, I should just be able to alleviate the issue. And if it is the nib, and I alleviate the issue with this nib, then the issue should in theory not exist with any nib, regardless of how sharp or bad or anything like that. Just a little bit. shiny A. That's better. A little bit. Yes. Bulge right there and kink right there. That I don't like. Chatty group tonight. It is quiet and chill in here today. I hope that's because everybody's at home practicing, working on certain things, and just enjoying the music with me. Hey, Connie. I think the one, my favorite G, well, there's this one. Whoops. Finger caught my glide sheet. There's that one. The capital like a G. And then there's the standard O. With that going through it. But there's one that has like a... No, it's not that. It has like one... It has a little like scoop in the middle of it. Oh, I can't even remember who wrote it or where I saw it. I feel like it's a spirally one. Spirals in... Is it like that and has a shade there? No, that's not right. I don't know. Oh, and then there's also the... Well, there's the 2Q as well. Like so. It's a leafy Q. I can't remember. I really like it, but I can't remember where it's from. I feel like I had it right before. No, that's not it. Something like that, but that doesn't feel right. But it's something like that. A leafy cue from the trees. I'll stick to this one. I need... I wonder... What if there was a penmanship course out there that existed like a video game? I just wrote the word quest, and it made me think of quests. And I was like, I wish there was like... I need like quests in real life. And with penmanship, I need somebody to be like, here's a quest. You have to write 5,000 cues. And then you slowly tackle your quest. And then when you're done, you get another quest. Or maybe on the way through, you pick up side quests. Quest-based education. I'm here for it. I think the world needs more quest-based education systems. Could you learn penmanship via quest? What do you guys think? What would be a good quest? Starting quest. It'd be like, well, we would start with lowercase letters, obviously. Whoa. Fiber. Starts with like, I mean, the first quest would be obviously drills and stuff like that. Ovals and things, but then you have to do 100 sets of 3 lowercase i's. So you have 1, 2, 3. And if you do 100 of those, no distraction at all. The chat is here to chat, Connie. I appreciate you joining in. Exactly. You just have a task. Like, this is my quest. Today's quest is I have to write 3 sets of eyes 100 times. It's a pretty easy quest, but I like the idea of quest-based learning. There might be something to this. I have to go into the quest description and see if it specifies if I have to dot these eyes or not. The number 305,000 is intimidating. Oh, like you got to do 300 of something? 5,000 of something? What do you mean they're intimidating? Or did I say 5,000 of something? And I'm now just not remembering what I said? What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would take a while. It'd be a good practice session to do 100 sets of 3 lowercase i's. But the cool thing is, as you're going, there will be side quests. So when you get to like 50, there's a side quest that's like, flourish this signature. This is your side quest. This is your side quest. In order to complete the quest, you have to practice the signature, and then post a video to this also will get me posting on social media again. Quest-based social media management. You have to practice this signature, record a video, and post to your social media. So you do your side quest, and you record it. Whoa. Hold your paper still, Mike. We're gonna do a side quest. Oh, not far enough. There's your side quest signature. You get it good, you film it, you post it to social media, and then you go to your on your merry way. Back to standard. Technically, without the side quests and whatnot, if you were to take a book like Lessons in Ornamental Penmanship by P.Z. Blozer, or Zahner's version, or any of the business penmanship books, they are essentially, if you treat every lesson like a quest, then that technically is sort of quest-based. Technically. Less fun, because it doesn't say quest, because who doesn't want to get a quest? I'm assuming in the actual quest I would have to dot these. It slows down the process so much. But they're not technically eyes if I don't dot them, I guess. I think I agree completely. I think the word quest changes everything. Lesson, quest. I'm gonna write a penmanship quest book. Can we decapitate? Right, you have to conquer. Well, that's the thing. You conquer your bad letters, things like that. The one thing we don't have is in a game you can unlock better armor and better weapons and things like that. We don't really have that in our quests. We don't really have other than our penmanship getting better, we don't really have a quest reward system. Unlock better nibs and pens. So you work with your teacher and you have a specific nib. No, but I don't want a student to be using a bad nib when they're practicing. Ooh, midnight yoga. Or as I would like to call it, night noon yoga. Love me some night noon yoga. I prefer the term night noon so much more than midnight. I love night noon. I think I've discussed that on stream before. Versus midnight. It's so good. I will forever thank that Christmas album. So if you don't know the story of where I got Night Noon from, it's a Christmas album. Is it the Dave Cause and Friends Christmas? No, that one's not jazzy. Anyways, it's a jazzy Christmas album. And the band is basically telling a story. They're doing like just telling a Christmas story, like they were up late drinking eggnog and whatnot, and the one guy who's speaking is like, and we were up way past night noon, and I just heard that years ago. It's like, night noon? Yes, I love night noon. So now I use the term night noon instead of midnight because it sounds awesome. Oh, so you unlock treats? Now this is just pet training though. We gotta... There has to be some form of, I guess, you can't just do 100 really crappy lowercase i's and call your quest done. You must have to submit the quest, and then your quest has to be judged, I guess. But then is it boring if you don't... If you don't pass, if your eyes aren't good enough, you essentially have to repeat the quest, which is boring. So there has to be some way to incentivize the repetition, because inevitably there's gonna be repetition. Ooh, curious cursive. It's weird, I never used the term cursive, basically ever. Welcome to your cursive quest. Whoa. I ran out of ink. Quest-based education. I like this idea. I'm into it. I need to think on this a little bit more. It definitely falls in line with just a bit of silliness, really. But is it something that I actually want? Does it make sense? Maybe? Sounds good, Lori. I'll keep you posted when the registration link is open. Bedtime for Lori. Alright, Lori, thanks for hanging out. Now that you're all done your midnight your night noon yoga, it's bedtime. Thank you very much, Connie. I don't know if Quest works for a group type atmosphere. I think this is primarily for single individual training. Each person has a quest specific to their penmanship needs. We'll say that. I'm thinking. These are personalized quests. No such thing as a quiet. Well, I guess penmanship is quite quiet. I'm not usually super quiet when I'm in class, though. Hello, Lene. Welcome, welcome. Oh, here comes an ad. It's 10:30. Nothing really about trouble. Just Lori and Ojaswini imagining themselves doing quests. Ads. Some people might have ads right now. That's better. Ooh, what kind of games? Like video games? Board games? Monopoly? Tetris? What is a Lene board game like? Fix that shape. Better, but not on the baseline. Package of sewing delights. I'm intrigued. What constitutes a sewing delight? Needles? Thread? Patterns? Board games. Nice. Pandemic Legacy Season 0. I've never heard of it, but it sounds cool. I have a board game that I want to play. I got to invite some people over. It's escape room in a box, basically. That I really want to do. Smooth out that shade. I'm not surprised there's a board game based on Pandemic. Everybody just trying to make money. It's fun, I hope. I'm assuming, or you wouldn't be playing it. Excuse me. Hmm. That's better. Ooh, there's another word that I write a lot. Enough. That's a go-to. They are really fun. I do a lot of escape room stuff with my nieces and nephews in Vancouver and back home. And we do escape rooms in boxes and stuff like that. And I still have one. I got them escape rooms for Christmas or escape room board games for Christmas and stuff this past year. But I also got myself one. I wrapped it and everything, but it is still wrapped and everything. I have not seen the movie Escape Room, no. I feel like it would be very serious. I mean, board games in general are very fun. I really need to get back into the habit of finding... For a long time they were closed because of COVID and whatnot, but I gotta get some pinball action. I haven't played pinball in ages. I need to find a good pinball arcade or machine relatively close to me so I can play without it being a big inconvenience. Fiber and ink. I'm glad you are having a good time, Connie. Pandemic is cooperative. The legacy ones have a through story and changing aspects of the game that you play over multiple sessions. That's kind of cool. Get a little more gameplay than just a single game. That's the one issue with a lot of like the escape room games or like even puzzles and puzzle boxes and stuff like that. Once you figure them out, then you're done. You got to get the next one. Oops, relax. Not very relaxed. Relax that stem. That's better. That's better. Ooh, shade's a bit too low. A little too much tension or snap on that shade. Needs to relax. 2 silicone hammers for ironing curves, curve template, and some seam allowance circles. Fun, fun, fun. New sewing toys. Gravy, do you mean, I'm assuming, Satvik, you mean as a word to write? Oh, I totally didn't even realize that I wrote gravy right here. Gravy is a word that I write a lot. For no other reason than I really like doing capital G's, and I feel weird writing gorgeous all the time. So I end up writing like groovy, gravy, greatness, but gravy comes out relatively often. This was full on, I wasn't even thinking when I wrote that, aside from just the letters. I can't believe in 2 lines I forgot that I wrote the word gravy. Awesome. We're just rolling with it today. But yeah, because I really like that G. I like playing also around with where the accent shades are. Like putting an accent shade on the top oval. Or putting no shade on the top oval and putting it on the loop. Or doing both. Which is risky because you have to push your horizontal oval shade a little bit farther left so that it doesn't intersect with this one too much. That's probably the one you see the most often, I would guess. Greatness is a good one. I always just feel weird writing things like beautiful and greatness and great, because when I write it, something about me feels like I'm writing it about the writing, and I don't want to be calling my own writing great or beautiful, so it's strange. And it's fully just in my head, that whole thought process. But that's why I end up with words like gravy. I also like writing Y's, and I never have a good Y word. I end up writing youth all the time, which, why? I just don't have any other Y words. Yummy, yummy. Cold tea. This is very true. That's a good point. Ooh, grace is a good G word. I do get a weird shape on this last oval. I get to about here and there's like, not a kink per se, but it starts going up instead of continuing, which I do relatively often. You can see it more extreme right here. Gets that like sort of a kink right in there. It loses the follow through, or just the follow through goes in the wrong direction, I guess. Coffee, coffee. I drank coffee on my drive to Kansas when I was transporting the Henning collection. So I drank some coffee in the car. Whoa. It makes me feel like a squirrel. Too much energy. Yeah, straight up like a squirrel. It's when I'll take a sip and it just feels like all my muscles feel like they're quick twitch. I feel like a little squirrel. Way too much just built up energy. Oh, here's a perfect example of that shape that I was talking about. It's something that happens on the end of my ovals. You can see this nice parallel, beautiful parallel, beautiful parallel, what? The whole trajectory goes up and out instead of continuing along where it should go. The ending is in the right spot. I just cut that bottom corner for some reason. Happens all the time. Glory, generous, gentle, generations. All very good words, Connie. Good G words. There's so many good words. Hooray for words. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, my hairline went a little bit too light there. I lost the beginning. That's okay. You're seeing my progression of how I build up to the capital S right now. Because I lose my fluidity in that figure 8 all the time. Oops. Log of files. Words are fun. I find it interesting that we use the word ultimate for like the best, when ultimate means last, by definition, which is interesting. If somebody's like the ultimate warrior, they're technically the last warrior. Because one of my favorite words ever, penultimate, second last. But ultimate means last. Doesn't mean best, like we use it. It's fascinating. What kind of muffins are they, Lene? Bran? Blueberry? Chocolate chip? Penultimate is such a good word. I use it any chance I can. I need a quest for a figure 8 movement drill. I gotta do a lot of thinking about this quest-based learning situation. I like it. Pumpkin with cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and nutmeg. And a vanilla rum cream. Wow, did you make them? They sound delicious. I guess 'tis the season for pumpkin stuff already. Holy smoly. You did. Very nice. That's fun. Sounds very delicious. You should probably have cookies with your coffee, Otiswinny. I think that sounds like a good idea. Uh-oh, another sneeze coming on. Sneaking up on me. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Connie. I'm glad you like it here. It's a fun time. Your first time ever making gelato? And cheese ravioli. Wow, your first cheese ravioli as well? Or just first gelato? That's exciting. I put pizza in the oven. Tomorrow is a cooking day. Today is not a cooking day. But tomorrow I will cook. Oh, if only teleportation was real. It'd make life so much simpler. So much. I cook very, very basic. I meal prep basically. I don't cook anything fancy. I cook a spice crusted just chicken thighs, which is great. I make usually 20 of them at a time, and then I have 2 of them per meal with just seasoned Brussels sprouts and carrots, which is not terribly exciting, but it gets the job done. No fancy cooking over here, just basic cooking. Pineapple gelato sounds yummy. That sounds good too, Roger Sweeney. You are making me hungry. As long as they're not stale, soggy's alright. Taste is still there, I would assume. The classic sewing tin, cookie tin. I need to be faster with my lowercase letters. The only way to do that is do drills. I always got to figure out. Some people do their C with an undercurve, then the hook stroke like that. Other people will do that and like so. I never know which one feels better. I kind of just, I do both without lifting. But I would like to start doing one or the other. Oh, thanks, Edvic. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be here next week. We gotta think of a cool theme. I always say, if you have ideas or things you'd like to see in future streams, put them in the comments. But nobody ever does. Probably because these videos are multiple hours long. So most people don't actually watch the whole thing from beginning to end and hear everything I say. Ooh, another word that I write quite often. These are all coming to my head because I just go to write and it's what my brain thinks of. Alright. I also write... future quite a lot. That's a go-to of mine as well. This is true. But yeah, usually when I'm practicing, I have an audiobook or something like that playing, and I just write whatever the last word or sentence I heard in the audiobook was when I'm aimlessly practicing. Well, hello, Fuzzy. Good evening. How's it going? $160 names. Ooh, what style? In Spencerian? Or you want a break, or are you still currently writing? No, you're typing to us right now, obviously, but... That does... Oh, just Swinny, that's a very good point. That does sound like quite a quest. Spencerian, right on. Fun, fun, fun. That's a lot of names. Ah. When he goes down for a nap, how long does he usually nap for? I'll tell you what a quest is. Just so you, to fill you in, Fozzie. Earlier we were talking about like video game quests, doing quests rather than like lessons and whatnot. I think we should have quest-based education or quest-based learning. So instead of doing penmanship lessons, we get given penmanship quests, which are essentially just lessons, but they sound so much more fun. So like 160 names, that's a penmanship quest. I'll show you guys what is a quest for me. Ugh. If I can reach it. Sorry, I'm going out of frame. Can I reach it? Can I reach it? Can I reach it? Come on. This is my quest. This is a list or a collection of envelopes and postcards and letters that I have to respond to. I have it right out on my desk, so I will get to it hopefully sooner than later. But this is my penmanship quest. It's a lot. A lot of these are from the same person, or there's multiple from the same people, and some of them go back many years. Like there's Christmas cards in here from my family from many years ago. But anyways, yeah, that's my quest. Correspondence quest, exactly. Oh my goodness! We forgot to spin the top. Oh, it's dusty. Dusty. I can't believe we forgot to spin the top today. Spin! There we go. Whoops. Nobody reminded me. Yeah, correspondence quest. That is the quest, or a quest that I have to embark upon. It's just getting in the habit of doing it. I used to do it all the time. I used to be so good, long time ago. Then I got out of the habit. Too pointy. Weird shade. It is quite a quest. Do the C like Kanan. Can I throw a Kanan C really quick? Just for fun. Sort of. There we go, that's more Kanan. Tiny little shade, big round oval. Why used to, Fozzie? Why not anymore? Oh. Yeah, you can. You just have to practice it some more. Just gotta practice. That is the key to all of this stuff. That makes sense. With a tucked baby oval. So like one of these ones? Wait, baby oval like this. One of those C's. This is true. A lot of it is context. It's like how working with clients, I can't use, well, I don't usually use the R variation that I use all the time now. And I don't use ending letters, unfortunately. So many things. Well, I guess I don't do a lot of client work, so it's not a huge issue for me, but those H-looking P's. Oh. Those. They're not H's. That's an H. I've started with that P. I've started really liking the look of that tail, or that descender, with that, like fully looping it, but continuing it through a little bit. I used to do this one, but I have a lot of trouble controlling this one at speed. And I like the look of that tiny little shade. So I've started doing that with that on the loop instead. It's fun. I feel like it's a good sort of mix between the two. Because I really like the slight, it's just such a delicate shade on it. But then if you do the actual loop, it fully looks like a P. Or you could say it also looks like a B a little bit. No, it doesn't. But I could see a client mistaking it for a B or something like that. Client work, I probably wouldn't bring my ascender quite so extremely high. $400 envelopes, that's a quest. I mean, I like the loop, but I have trouble controlling. It's the descender. If I get the descender good, the shape of my little oval ends up being, I feel like, off. Or too big or too small, or just not as precise as I want it to be. Yeah, clients, you can't do an open P with clients usually. Unless, like even when I do signatures and stuff, unless it's specifically for a penman who studies ornamental penmanship or Spencerian and expects the P to be open, then people don't like it. I love it, but I gotta be careful when I use it. Something that's been on my mind all day today. I'm trying to emulate MPZ Blozer's book a moment. I find it's impossible to do it all the time. But the way he holds his glide sheet with his thumb, and then his other hand is just over top, and then he's writing sort of in this middle bit, which feels very weird to me. Those ignorant troglodytes. Well, us penmanship and calligraphy folks see some weird shapes and weird writing. But yeah, I'm trying to, so many times when I'm sitting down to write, I'm trying to emulate today, specifically this shape, more than I feel like I ever have before. So even like wideness of elbow and so on and so forth. Just to see if it could potentially make a difference. But it feels very strange to me. On stream, I don't want to do it because I get this harsh shadow. Posture-wise, as far as what's going on in the upper body, is the same. It's really just the arms. And I don't feel... I guess if I was a little bit farther down the page... The writing, or my hand being right here and writing sort of in this middle bit, I tend to do this. I hold underneath, I hold my glide sheet. Or sometimes I'll hold... No, I don't hold up. If I didn't have a glide sheet, I would usually hold over above, I guess, or below. But they hold thumb and hand, and then he writes in that middle bit, which does feel strange. But as far as posture, yeah, posture feels the same as my normal posture. I also feel like this isn't super secure. I mean, I don't have any pressure on it, so it shouldn't move, but maybe this will be a game changer. Unlock the world of something I'm missing. Oh, hit a baseline, Mike. That's better. I think the thing is, if that picture is directly above, I think one thing that modern penmen and calligraphers do is we lean in and we tend to want to be right above our writing, which we're leaning in from the hips, still keeping our back flat. So we get right here, but I feel like they, and I could be wrong, but I feel like they would have a tendency of being like farther back because like their belly doesn't touch the table. The table or the paper isn't close to the edge of the table, so they're sort of out here leaning in. Again, leaning in with the hips and not shrugging over, but they're still quite a ways from the writing, and then they get used to writing there. One thing I'm noticing is with just holding just the thumb on my gliding sheet, it wants to move a lot, which is kind of telling me that I'm applying that too much of my hand tends to get down on the glide sheet. I'm applying too much weight, potentially. So maybe that's good. Also, if my hand's here as I'm going across, I feel like, well, if he's not flat on the table and he's making this like little tent, then he's not gonna have wet ink as he moves his hand over. curious. Surprised I've never really done this before. I've never really thought too much about paper holding grip. I don't think they did penmanship on a slanted table. Make sure you clean it first, Oja Swinney. Whoa, too aggressive. That's better. Sweaty finger dents. Yeah, currently I don't like doing this just because I'm on stream, so it means there's this harsh shadow at all times, and I don't like there to be a shadow when I'm on screen, on camera. The only shadows are under my hands. But I'm gonna work on that and see how it changes things, because it does tell me that I'm applying too much pressure, which is a good thing to know. Ooh, that was a good G. I'm pretty stoked on that G. Have I tried watching Taskmaster New Zealand and Australia? Of course. I am caught up on both. I prefer New Zealand. I actually, of all of them, I mean, I really, really like Taskmaster America. I like Greg Davies and I like Alex Horn. But I've really come to enjoy New Zealand quite a bit. I like the way I like Paul on the New Zealand one quite a lot, who's like the Alex Horn of New Zealand Taskmaster. I'm not as big of a fan of Australian. Something about the host, I don't like saying I don't like it, because I do like it. I've watched them all. But of all three of them, I like the Australian host the least, I think. He's not bad. I just like the other two more. But Paul cracks me up. I think Paul's hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, New Zealand is a good one. Lately, I've just been obsessed with 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. It's, for those of you who don't know, and many of you probably do, I love British panel shows. It's basically the only thing I watch television-wise these days anymore. Because British banter and wit is magical. It's so good. And all of them, like QI, Would I Lie to You, Taskmaster, all of them are so good. But 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown has to have, I feel like, the best banter of all of them, in my personal opinion. They so much banter time. Obviously they play the game as well and it's great, but there's just so much banter. I haven't watched Carrot in a Box, no. Sweet. Yeah, banter, British banter is on a whole other level. I love it. True, Fozzie, true. If I never discovered Would I Lie to You and QI... Was it Would I Lie to You that got me started on everything? Was it Bob Mortimer on Would I Lie to You? Or was it an episode of QI? I can't remember. I love it. And I love that there are so many more. Like, there are other panel shows that are on my list to get to eventually. I love that they just have this army of comedians who just do all of these panel shows, and they're all hilarious. They don't take themselves too seriously. They make amazing jokes. They're just brilliant. I love it. Claudia Winkleman. She's crazy. She is a lunatic. in like the best way ever, I guess. When she's in a few episodes of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown that I've watched recently, and she's hilarious. QI is brilliant. They're all brilliant. I love all of them. Whoa, what's going on with my ascenders there? I feel like that's the way with a lot of them. Like, comedy-wise, I'm not the... Like, I like Lee Mack. I think he's hilarious. But he is like... His wit and quickness, he has gotta be the... He's like the quickest wit of them all. He's so fast. His humor's a little interesting sometimes. Yes. Kevin's also on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown quite a lot, and I quite enjoy it. He's funny. And a lot of it I just also really like because of the accents. The accents are so good. It's good practice for me. No, yeah, 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown has been just the only thing playing in my apartment for the past, like, week. So good. A little more than a week, probably. Adding unintentional shades on my downstrokes there. That's true, Fuzzy. Very true. Oh, I believe it's ad time. Yeah, what'd you put in it, Ojaswini? What's your ink of choice today? Do you only have one fountain pen? That's not enough. Pelican 4001 Black is a good ink. It's one of the driest black inks, I think. Awesome, Lene. Right on. Oh, yeah. 100%, Connie. 1000%. It's the best. Mongrels? It's a puppet show with the animals behind a pub in London. I never heard of it. Is it old? I'm the quest master. What should you begin writing with? Let's see. In your writing, Otis Sweeney, when you think about your writing, what is lacking the most, or what's like the issue that you notice the most in your own writing, out of curiosity? I'm curious what you notice, because what you notice will be different than what I notice. So I'm curious, what is your biggest like issue? Okay, but me just telling you to practice doesn't help us, so we need to be a little more specific than that. In your actual writing, there's gotta be something. A letter form, a shape, or something like that. 2010, alright, interesting. I've never heard of it. Mongrels. I'll have to look into it. Well, I think that goes with, I mean, that's British humor in general. Not for the easily offended, any of it. That's what I love so much about it. They offend each other and themselves so much, and then just roll with it, and Have fun. I love it. Feels like what humor should be. Consistency. Okay, is there a specific form, Ojaswini, that gets you? Beginner quest? Well, I know you like doing cross drills. But first off, just do the regular lines before you cross everything. I would get working on... So because you're not a complete beginner, I would say let's get 100 IUIUs. So IUIU. So that'll train twofold. You'll get, essentially, this is the stroke that you're working on, but spacing wise, you'll get the spacing between the letters, and then you'll condense for the U. So you'll get your letter spacing for the U and the letter spacing between each letter. So IUIU and 100 of them. That's a simple quest. Easy one. Quest number 1, IUIU quest. IUIU. That's one of my favorite things to do when somebody asks for help. I like to pinpoint what they see in their own work first, because it tells me what they don't see. Now make sure that your downstrokes there should be no shades at all. Perfect, beautiful. Hold the tail by the end, or hold the pen by the end of the tail. Hairlines. All your lines should be the exact same. Doesn't have the same effect in capitals. Oh, this is true. But still in a fountain pen, well here, I'll do an example with a fountain pen. You can still have different thickness of hairlines if you're applying unintentional pressure, which does happen a lot to people. I'll see if this pen will show a difference in hairline or it won't. I'm not sure if it will or not. So if I press down, you see how that U is thicker? I don't know if the camera is picking that up or not. What it also shows is if I do a fast stroke and then I do a slow stroke, even if I'm applying the same amount of pressure, my slow stroke is gonna be a thicker line. This is why earlier in today's stream I said I need to work on my lowercase letters. I need to work on my business penmanship to do my lowercase quicker. My connective strokes are nice and quick, but my structure strokes, not a proper term, tend to slow down and they lose. It makes my letter hairline not match my connective hairline or my capital like flourishing hairline, which is no good because I want all the hairlines to match. It's a very, very fine difference, but you want to make sure you're not applying any extra pressure so all your lines look the same. And then for the I and the U, make sure we're not getting, we want it like so we have some space in there so we're not getting too much retrace. We don't want to have too much retrace. That's too much. I am really happy with that pen. Considering I ground it myself, it gives a pretty good hairline. Ooh, it is hard not to put a slight shade on the bottom or on the downstroke of an ascender with this nib. I have to be extra light. Oh yeah, like that. Yeah. For the eye, I mean, in a perfect world, you don't really want any retrace at all. In a perfect world, there's space all the way up so it doesn't retrace at all. When it's small, usually if you have too much retrace, welcome back, Fozzie, it means that you're getting a little too, your undercurve is just too curved. So that means you have no choice but to come down and get all that retrace. Like I said, ideally, there's basically none. The only retrace you should really have is sort of a product of just the thickness of a hairline, because hairlines, even when they're crazy fine, they're still not, I mean, they still take up width, especially with like a fountain pen or something. So I would try to retrace none at all if you can, or as little as possible. Nice. That's good. Ooh, thick hairline on the exit stroke there. Oops. Just a heads up to everybody. I don't think we're gonna make it into blacklight tonight. My eyes are tired. I'm having a very enjoyable writing session today, though. How would I write a name with a J as a second letter? Give me an example. Fuzzy. So a capital letter and then going into a lowercase j? I can't think of what's a name that starts with a that has a J as the second letter. Asia. Checking. I would just write it. I wouldn't do anything really special, I don't think. Ooh, rough lowercase letters on that one. But in that instance, I would do the J like so. Oh yeah, Ojaswini. You have the second letter as a J. True, good point. Well, because a J's not shaded, technically, in Spencerian or ornamental penmanship. We don't shade the J. Yeah, I would, depending on how your exit stroke is. Ooh, Django, good one. Depending on the exit stroke of your capital, like if we did this capital D and then we had a J, like if we did Django again. If only my capital D's would look good today. That would be lovely. Sorry. So if that was our D, so you could do one of two things here. I could do the J quite close to the D, so that this comes over here and would cross if I was using that version of a descender. If I really wanted to use that style of descender, or you make this a little bit larger, and then you can follow that parallel if you want, so you get this little parallel line inside there. Which can look really nice. But you kind of have to have the foresight to know that you have to space this out so you can get a J or a descender sort of flowing inside. Ooh, djembe. I used to have a djembe. I got it in Costa Rica. It broke. I don't know where it is anymore. The cool thing with, like in this instance, I didn't have any foresight, but I didn't want to do this one because it would cross kind of really weird, so I just used a loop descender instead of my standard, I guess, ending descender, which I prefer using. But you just have to choose a descender that works. Or if you need to do the loop one, and like let's say hypothetically this went down lower to like there, then this descender that I did wouldn't work because they end up butting up against each other. So I would either have this descender be shortened or extend it and do a really long descender like in a running hand or something like that. Or it could go quite big down here and cross to get a large ending variation there. That might look too long and too large though, because yeah, if it went here, they're gonna cross in a not great way. So I would stick to a loop, unless, like I said, you see this and then you consciously make a little bit of a longer entry to your J to increase the space between the J and the D, but not enough to make it look bad. And then you can fit that J into that parallel curve. It's one of those things where sort of you cross that bridge when you get to it, and you sort of choose depending on if you had the foresight, awesome. If you didn't, you just have to make the right choice in the moment. Like if I write agos, like so, this one, this is close enough that I can, that doesn't mess that up. I don't feel like having these crossed, they're relatively close to 90, so it doesn't look like a bad crossing. But usually going with a looped in those instances kind of fixes things. Also depends on the script you're writing. Like if I do like that, if I'm doing a running hand, I can afford to make this space quite a lot longer. Whoa, that was a bad example of a parallel line, but get that parallel. But because the space is so big here, I can continue that trend. So I have my running hand through the whole thing. So it doesn't look out of place because it matches the spacing of the other lowercase letters. The puzzle of the fox, chicken, grain, and guy in a rowboat? I do not. Apologies. It is a beautiful letter form. Gotta get that slight shade. Mataraz gets it best, I think, this one. Clean my nib and try it a couple more times. Because the accent shade that he puts on there is just a product of his speed, basically. It's so slight. Nope. The guy's taking his fox, chicken, and grain home. Gets to a rowboat where he can only take one at a time. Chicken will eat the grain, fox will eat the chicken. Ooh, riddles! My brain is too tired for riddles right now, Lene. But I want to think about this one. can only take one of them at a time. I feel like I should be able to solve this riddle, and I cannot. I'm gonna have to think about this off stream and try to come up with a solution. I like riddles. I wish I was better at solving riddles. Oh, my lowercase d's are not even at the same angle. Fail. Of course, Fozzie would come up with that question. Unscathed on the other side. But they can't be left alone. Or the pairs can't be left alone. I feel like I should have been able to think of the answer to this by now. I like that thinking, Fozzie. Who is this guy, and why is he not prepared? He knew he was getting a grain, a chicken, and a fox. What the heck? I guess, yeah, wait. Because the fox can be left with the grain, so that's fine. He takes the chicken across. Comes back. Wait a minute. I need to think of this first. Uh-oh. An ad's about to play, but I'm about to log off. Stream is about to be over. I'm calling it a night. I'm forecasting that we will probably go to Blacklight Live next week, I think. But I have a few things I need to do this evening before bed, and then I have an early morning tomorrow to prepare for a class that I have to teach. Of course. It wouldn't be a late night live stream without Oja Swinney exclaiming, "No!" Yeah, this is a good riddle. The problem with the riddle, though, you have to make sure you give me the riddles at the end of stream, because my brain is preoccupied and I can't think about writing and riddles at the same time, or riddles and like talking to you guys at the same time. It's like the other day I was playing pool, I was playing billiards with a friend, and we were chatting, and I was doing really well until we got onto a topic that I had to think about. And then I definitely started losing because I was thinking about the topic and what we were talking about. And I could no longer get my angles and hit the right shots in the pool game. A whole trip just to shuttle off a piece of grain. A piece of grain. This is true. I guess the man's not to blame. The boat is to blame. Good point. We're going to end the stream there. Any second now, the lights are going to turn off. So I got to end this stream really, really quick. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today, everybody. This was a good one. Super nice and chill. If you have ideas for future streams or things you want to do during the streams, drop them in the comments of this video. Let me know, and I can add them to our lineup of ideas for late night live streams. Or if you just want to do random writing nights like tonight, I love doing these as well. So works for me. But let me know if you have any fun ideas. If you want to support the channels to keep these lives happening and supporting me, there's a link in the description. You can drop me a tip if you like to support the channel. We do have a Discord called the Creatrium. There's also a link in the description to join the Creatrium and join in the fun that happens outside of the streams. Like I said, thank you very much for hanging out with me. As always, make sure that you are falling in love with the process and don't forget that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. All right, good night, everybody, and we'll see you later for the next penmanship quest. Bye-bye.